and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand all the latest cues from the D Street, starting from the benchmark index moves to sectoral action and all the stocks that are buzzing the most in trade. As we inch closer to the last half an hour of trade, the markets are looking good. Right from the morning trade, we had got this sharp bounce from Friday's losses that seem to have had a short-lived effect on the D Street. 710 points higher for the Sensex right now. It's trading at 61,762. The Nifty also up by almost 200 points at 18,265. A percent uptick for both these indices. Apart from that, the broader market's doing well. The banking and the financial names really leading the rally from the front in today's trading action as well. The top gainers include Bajaj Twins, including Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv, IndusInd Bank. Some of the auto names are also moving higher, like Tata Motors is up in trade as well. Some metal pack stocks like Hindalco doing well. ONGC has also come up in trade as well, about 2.8% uptake. Some of the IT names also like HCL Technologies now finding its place in the top Nifty 50 gainers. On the other side, if you do see, there are some individual stocks that are facing some news flows related losses, like Sun Pharma is down in trade. Tracking with it, it's Dr. Reddy's. Coal India slightly down about 2% odd. Adani Enterprises seeing some profits being taken off the table. Britannia, L&T, some of the other laggards at this point in time. Time now to welcome our guest on the show. Mr. Avinash Korakshakar joins in. He's the Director of Research at Profit Mart Securities. Welcome, Avinash, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. It looks like a great start to this week. We've already seen about an 800-point surge on the Sensex. Seems like the Friday sell-off was just a short-lived memory for the Dalal Street. Your own thoughts on what are the key factors that are leading to this rally and what's next coming in for markets?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sakshi. I think markets have bounced back very sharply, considering the fact that on Friday U.S. markets rallied very strongly, and I think that rub-off effect has come on the Indian markets. And more importantly, one observation from my side has been, the dollar index has been on a sliding trend, and that has got a very strong correlation to FI flows. So FIs have been very actively buying into the markets. So these factors have also helped the markets gain the kind of buoyancy which everybody was expecting, and today has been a great day. But I think in the coming week, I think as we approach now the Karnataka state assembly elections, which start from the 10th of this month, I think the markets would turn a little volatile. So I think you could see a little bit of profit booking at that point of time. But I think we'll have to keep things as they happen. But overall, I think today has been a good day across all sectors, large cap, mid cap. I think the rally has been quite strong.
Absolutely. In fact, the BSE listed stocks market cap has also jumped by 2 lakh crore rupees. So the market investors are definitely cheering the kind of move that we have seen. The Sensex is now just around 1800 points away from its peak of 63,583, which we had seen in December of last year. Your own thoughts as to how soon will we see that level getting retested?
No, I think we might have to take a little longer for that. As I mentioned to you, Sakshi, this week we'll be looking at the state elections, momentum, and I think by Saturday, we would be final result. So, in case the ruling BJP, the BJP government gets Karnataka, then I think the markets could see a further rally in the coming week. So, I think this rally which you are seeing now would further get some sort of a sentimental boost if the Modi run BJP gets a significant majority. And I think that would be a validation of the fact that the markets would not now look at anything negative going forward. So I think these are going to be very crucial kind of developments in the coming week. And of course, how US Europe markets perform, because global markets have been also very volatile. So I think taking on to all these factors, maybe the coming week could be very crucial if we have to touch a further new high on the Sensex or the Nifty.
Correct. You did talk about the FII flow, so I wanted to take your view on that as well. I mean, we are already seeing that the US Fed has signaled that it's at the near end of its rate hike cycle. We have been seeing that the FII dollars have been pouring into the Dalal Street once again. They have been net buyers in India over the last 7 trading sessions, even from the beginning of FY23. If we look at till so far, about 22,500 crores have been, bought. The FIs have bought in the Indian equities so far. Your own thoughts on whether the lost ground that we had seen in the previous year will be regained now?
Yeah, I think definitely, Sakshi, the scenario looks pretty positive. If you look at the global economy, India is one of the fastest growing economies. More importantly, I think in terms of GDP growth, in terms of the macro numbers, I think India presents a very strong opportunity to make a better return as compared to markets in Europe or US. And I think a lot of inflows could come in. But I think single largest factor in the near term is the fall in the dollar index. In fact, the dollar
Yeah.
index is expected to go down further, and that would actually accelerate a lot of FI inflows into the country. So I think net, I think we should continue to see such kind of large FI inflows in the country, going forward also.
Got that. Another important factor that we've been tracking is the Q4 earnings. What have you personally made of the Q4 earnings so far? About 26 Nifty 50 companies have already reported their earnings, in Q4. Have they met your expectations? Are they above your expectations? What is the larger sense that you made out?
No, I think on a broader sense, majority of the companies have delivered in-line numbers. In fact, very few have reported negative surprises. In fact, today United Phosphorus reported a little,
Yeah.
softer set of numbers. So I think, but the guidance from the management has been quite assuring. So I think in all sense, I think the numbers have been in line. I think probably if commodity prices continue to go down, crude prices continue to remain where they are, I think that would definitely be a big boost, for the next 1 or 2 quarters. Plus, hopefully the monsoon is good, then I think that would be another re-rating factor which the market would look forward.
Okay. Since you talked about UPL, that's trading down for sure. About 40% discount is what we've already seen on the company's earnings this time around, and that is what has led to this downtick on the stock. But there are also some positive surprises. Paytm, for example, has reported robust set of numbers this time around, a jump in its revenues as well, a narrowing of the losses this time. We've seen the stock react about 5% up in today's trade as well. Your own sense of Paytm, the earnings that have come about from quarter on quarter. Last time we had seen EBITDA turning positive. This time, what is the difference? Is there a considerable shift on the upside?
Yeah, I think one good part is that revenue growth traction continues to be very strong, and plus operating profitability even before the ESOP charge has been very strong. More importantly, the net losses have started declining, and now the management is pretty confident that very soon, Paytm will become a free cash flow positive company. Of course, for that to happen, it might take a long time, but I think the first targeted number, Sakshi, would be September 23 numbers, when the management had earlier predicted and forecasted that they would become EBITDA positive. So I think
Yeah.
the momentum seems to be proper. I think that's the reason the market is very happy that finally, this company has been delivering numbers which are as per the investors' expectation, and we expect this momentum to continue. So pretty a good set of numbers, and I think this 5% upside which you have seen is basically a thumbs up by the market looking at the strong operating numbers.
Right. Some of the brokerage houses have actually come out with their reports post these numbers, and they are predicting, a target price of over 1100 or so. Is that a realistic expectations given the kind of challenges that the company may still face at this point in time? Despite this 5% move, is this an opportune time that investors should bet on Paytm for further upside from here?
I would say that at least I would wait for the entry of Geo Financial, because Geo Financial is going to enter into all these areas which the company operates, and obviously that would lead to significant competition going forward. So I think it's going to be a little tougher, once Geo Financial is properly listed in the market. But clearly, I think Paytm has got a very large market share in the payment business. They have a lot of cross-selling opportunities. So I would say that anybody who's holding on should at least keep a 2 years perspective. Giving a target price, Sakshi, would be difficult, but yes, I think
Okay.
definitely longer term prospects look good.
But we have seen the company definitely recover from a lot from the lows as well. But despite that, we are seeing that the company is still about 65% away from its all-time high levels as well. Will that be a far-fetched to see even now?
So I think it will take some time, because clearly my sense is that even as of now, the company continues to incur cash losses. It's EBITDA negative. So I think
Hmm.
only once the company becomes EBITDA positive, and obviously at a later stage when the management pretty confidently has mentioned in its press release that it
Yeah,
intends to be free cash flow positive. I think these are very positive statements, Sakshi. But I think
yeah.
you'll have to wait for some more time before you see actual results.
So for all those investors interested to invest in Paytm post the results, what would you advise?
So I think if you have a 2 year kind of timeline, then definitely, probably on some day when the market corrects, like today is not the right day, but
Yeah.
whenever the market corrects, you could probably think of, acquiring and, adding it to your portfolio, but keep a time frame of at least 18 to 24 months, because I think it's going to be a slow, gradual re-rating story.
Got that. Apart from Paytm, is there any other new age company stock that you will be watching out for in its earnings season?
I think Zomato would be another company, Sakshi, because see now within the business segment of food applications, food apps, I think there are only two players. One is unlisted, one is listed, and I think this is now like a pure monopoly business. So I think clearly here also markets would like to see what is the gross merchant value growth, what is the EBITDA growth expected to be, because yet they are, obviously incurring cash losses. Here also, I think the company has given a fair amount of comfort that going forward they definitely aim to become EBITDA positive and, obviously intend to do a lot of cost cutting. So Zomato would be another company to watch out. Clearly, I think from the fintech space.
Got that. Apart from the new age tech space, is there any other particular sector amid the earnings season that you're keeping on your top radar?
I think my guess is, I think most of the automotive manufacturers like Mahindra and Mahindra, maybe Tata Motors, these are companies which I think one should keep a watch because commodity prices have continued to fall. The volume growth for the commercial vehicle sector, the utility vehicle sector has been quite robust. So I think automobile is going to be one area where my sense is that over the next 12 to 15 months, you could see not only strong value growth but good realization growth. So I think autos is going to be a strong play, especially Maruti, which has now grown about 9,000 rupees. So I think the next other two bets could be Tata Motors and Ashok Leyland and Mahindra and Mahindra.
Okay, what about Marico from the FMCG business? I mean, that company reported strong earnings. In fact, the share zoomed about 9% on the Q4 earnings beat as well. Is there more upside left? Is the stock really headed for the 600 mark?
Yeah, I think it's possible, Sakshi, because one thing which is very positive for the company is that their raw material copra prices have started declining. And if this trend continues, then I think the management is very hopeful that margins would continue to improve. If post monsoon, hopefully the monsoon is on normal lines, then I think one could see a lot of rural demand also coming in for their products. And plus, the company has a very rich portfolio of branded products. So I think definitely, if all these things fall in place, then I think a price of 600 definitely looks reasonably placed as of now.
Okay, and apart from Marico, any other thing that you're watching out for in the FMCG basket?
I think companies like Godrej Consumer Products also look pretty interesting. I think, considering the fact that they have a large domestic exposure, they have a large, international exposure. Godrej Consumer Products also should fit in the bill. My sense is that probably after the March quarter, hopefully the monsoon is good. The April to June quarter should be definitely much better in terms of volumes and margins. So GCPL also looks to be an interesting bet.
Got that. So that's as far as the FMCG basket is concerned. Let me also take your view on the IT pack, especially because there is a wide consensus that BFSI is outperforming and everybody is bullish on that. You talked about automotives, FMCG select stocks right there as well. But IT, at what point does it become what banks were in 2021? In 2021, nobody wanted to go near banks because everybody was worried about what will really happen to their balance sheet and what essentially will be happen going forward from here post COVID. But then banks have really recovered pretty sharply. At this point in time, should one really go for some bargain hunts in the IT basket?
Yeah, I think if you have a 2 year view, then I think IT companies are available at very attractive valuations. And mind you, most of these IT companies are asset light, so they have got a lot of cash on the books, good order books also, which they have. But I think the key factor which most IT companies and most investors are looking at is when will the longer term secular growth come back. And I think that could take little at least 1 or 2 quarters because recently, you must have also heard Cognizant has given a very weak guidance, and obviously this means that globally IT is yet under some sort of pressure. So maybe another 1 or 2 quarters, and after that, hopefully, if some tailwinds become positive from the US and Europe, then I think you could definitely see a good bounce back. But yes, within this, I think the large cap IT names look comfortable, something like a Infosys, a TCS, or an HCL Tech. So I think you're
Got
getting these companies at good valuations.
Good. Got that. I want to circle back to Zomato once again because I forgot to discuss with you the theme that we've been discussing all through, and that is ONDC, which is being seen as a path-breaking thing. Now, on the one hand, experts do believe that banks will definitely benefit. There are merchants who would benefit from, but what will happen to like Swiggy or a Zomato right there? There are a lot of, buzzing talks on social media, and that ONDC network is something that will really take on. Your own thoughts?
No, I think ONDC will definitely become bigger and bigger as time goes by. Currently, ONDC has a limited merchant kind of base, so obviously it does not make any difference to players like Swiggy or Zomato. But going forward, obviously margins could come under pressure because that would mean customers would benefit. But I think in the overall game, Sakshi, the volume market size for food delivery apps in India is extremely large, and there are only two players. So here, unlike some of the other sectors where there's a lot of competitive intensity, I would believe that the market is left with these two large players. So it doesn't make a big difference. So we'll have to wait and watch how the companies react to these market changes. But yes, ONDC is a reality, and maybe over the next say 12 to 18 months, you could see a lot of changes happening in the kind of transaction, kind of way Indians buy their products and services. So I think Zomato would also see a little bit of margin pressure, which is quite evident. You won't be able to get those kind of margins. Considering the fact that ONDC is a comparable e-commerce platform which has been developed by the government.
Got that. Well, thank you so much, Avinash, for being with us on the show and discussing these insights on various topics, on various sectors and stocks. Market still looking bright, 700 points up as we inch closer to the end of the session, about 12 odd minutes remaining for the session to close, and 700 points still up on the Sensex, about 195 points up on the Nifty. You're seeing slight profits being taken off. The markets are slightly coming off the day's high point, but still 18,262 is what we are seeing the Nifty at as we speak. We'll continue to track all the market momentum and everything that could impact the market trajectory going forward from here as well. And you could do that too by staying with us on Business Today TV. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also continue to engage with us on our other social media platforms, that's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram. Until then, thanks for tuning in.
With rapid digitalization happening around the world, 5G is no longer a luxury but need of the hour. I'm joined by Mr. Gopal Vittal, CEO of Bharti Airtel. Thank you so much for joining. Like we were talking,